How's it going today, my friends? This is Arc Flash, back with another Flash review for you guys. Today I'm going to be covering Rogue Trooper Redux for all the major systems. Don't forget, if you like my content, go ahead and subscribe and hit that like button, and I will keep coming out with more cool stuff for you guys soon. Thanks. So first off, I have to apologize for the annoying mouse pointer right in the middle of the screen. I'm still getting used to a few different ways to capture my footage, and this one unfortunately captures the mouse pointer. Pisses me off more than you guys can know, but I'll promise I get better with that in the future. So this game, Rogue Trooper Redux, is actually a remake, or a sort of a remake, believe it or not, for a game that was released about 10 or 11 years ago, the original Rogue Trooper, for the PlayStation 2, the Xbox, the PC, and the Wii. So quick background of this story for people who don't really know Rogue Trooper that well. That's based on a science fiction strip on the British comic 2000 AD. It follows the adventures of Rogue, who is a GI, which is basically a genetically created super soldier, and his three teammates, Gunner, Bagman, and Helm. And that'll make more sense to you guys in a little bit. Now, what makes these guys special is they're able to breathe in a horrible atmosphere on the planet New Earth, in which there was a giant war. They had all kinds of nukes and weaponry go off, and the atmosphere is basically unbreathable now. These guys can breathe it. They're immune to almost all toxins. They can submerge in acid and withstand all kinds of different trauma and injuries. Now, they're not invincible per se, but they're pretty damn close. They can take a lot of damage and keep on going. The basic story of the game is they're trying to find a traitor that has popped up in their midst, and trying to figure out who this traitor is and why he betrayed the GIs and Millicom, the organization that they work for. As you can see here, they've got a pretty big D-Day style invasion going on against the opposing Nort army. Going in guns hot, guns blazing. Alright, so enough about me blapping about the backgrounds and the stories of the characters. Let's check out what's going on with this game. Is the remake much better than the original? Did it stand the test of time, or do we wish that it would have stayed in 2006? Alright, so I am playing this game on the PC, so I was pretty easily able to maintain 60 FPS on it. I have checked out the Switch version, which I'm sure a lot of people were wondering about, because it does help fill that void on the Switch of decent third-person shooters, which, I mean, all you really have is Splatoon right now, so I'm sorry about that. But as far as I've seen on that system, it does maintain a solid 30 FPS. All the character models still look about as good. As you can see here, the animation is a little strange, like when he's rolling and things like that. I mean, he looks a little plasticky, but, you know, it is based on a comic strip, so the characters probably are meant to have a little more cartoonish look to them, but overall, they do look pretty solid. I would say that pretty good, solid HD upgrade, but they didn't really upgrade any of the animations or the overall graphics for the most part. I mean, it still kind of looks like an older era game, so don't expect when you buy this to get a complete revision of the graphics overall. It's more going to be kind of putting a fresh sheen, fresh coat of paint on the old game. Oh, but this war is hell down here. I'm just glad I've got my ally Gunner. Well, and he's dead. Well, Bagman, at least I've got you. Let's get in there and... Oh, okay. Nope, he's dead too. Well, he might still be alive after that hit. I mean... Oh, nope, he's gone. Oh, good. Helm, I found you. Oh, wait, he doesn't look so good. Yep, he's dead too. Son of a... Alright, don't get mad at me for spoilers. This does happen fairly early in the game. Main thing I wanted to do is show you one of the main mechanics of this game, which is installing the chips of your comrades into your equipment. And they're technically still alive because they have their biochips implanted in them. As long as Rogue gets it on his equipment before they die, he can utilize them to enhance his weaponry, like his helmet, his backpack, and his guns, which does spice up the gameplay quite a bit and makes it a lot more interesting than it would be without these mechanics, which we'll get into right now. One of the things I enjoyed so much about the original was the inventive ways you could kill your enemies. Like here, I'm about to shoot some micro mines out here with Bagman, and it will blow up any enemies that cross its path. Bam! Get some! Or you can use Helm to project a hologram of yourself to trick enemies or attract them towards you if you want to sneak around behind them. Hey, Nordy! Am I over here? Or am I over here? Nope, I'm right behind you, bitch. Probably my favorite thing to do is to set Gunner up as a sentry gun and watch him waste enemies without you having to do anything. Dumbass. Speaking of dumbasses, one of the things that's always driven me nuts about this game is the AI, because they are stupid. Alright, yeah, I'm just standing right here, don't worry about it, guys. 3 of you, don't respond to it. Alright, I'll just go up behind the boxes here and... nope, no one gives a shit. Until I raise my head and start shooting, then everyone knows where I'm at right away. And that happens so much. Either the enemies can't figure out where you're at and they just stand there not shooting when you're right in front of them, or they all instantaneously know where you're at from a mile away. It makes absolutely no sense. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Of all the things I really wish they would have worked on in this game, it would have been the AI, because that's easily the most frustrating aspect of this game. It definitely makes the game feel like it was made in 2006, so I wish it would have been addressed. Now, I already mentioned all the different ways that your companions can help you between Helm, Bagman, and Gunner. One of the other things that Gunner can do for you is he can actually change into a bunch of different kinds of weapons, which is really helpful. You start off with your standard machine gun, but once you get the Gunner chip installed, you've got other things you can use with it, like a sniper rifle, shotgun. Yeah! Bring it on! Fuck you! Oh, hey, buddy, dropping in for some eat lead, bitch! Suck! It! Something called the SAMI launcher, which is essentially a surface-to-air missile. You've got an electric current gun and a mortar launcher, so there are a bunch of different varieties of ways that you can take out your enemies just with the guns by itself. So the fact that you have so many different options at your disposal to take these guys out is really a good thing, because it helps break up that monotony in a game where you're basically shooting anything that moves. One important aspect I should mention too is you do have the ability to upgrade your companions, your weapons, and your grenades through the use of salvage, which you collect off of enemies and find piles of it laying around in the environment. You can also use it to create ammo clips. There's no ammo collection in this game off of enemies or anything like that. It's going to be all creation through the use of salvage. But luckily, salvage is abundant throughout most of the levels, and you shouldn't have a hard time finding it as long as you look for it a little bit. But that's one aspect of the game that I do enjoy too, is kind of the balance between managing your inventory and resources when you are kind of getting low on salvage, and trying to decide what you should use it towards and the most important things at that time. You don't run into it a lot, but the times that you do, it kind of offers some other interesting twists on the game. And the campaign itself is pretty short. It's only about 5 or 6 hours, so it's good that it doesn't really feel stale most of the way through, because you're constantly gaining new abilities and new things to utilize against your enemies. In addition to all that, really quickly, you have frag grenades, sticky grenades, shock grenades, and incendiary grenades, so that just keeps piling on the variety of your arsenal. And the grenades all have their different uses too, like right here, the shock grenades come in really handy for short-circuiting these big mechanical enemies, and oh, wait, what the hell is Rogue doing here? Oh, shit! Remind me not to mess with him. You also do have some limited stealth options too. It's just unfortunate that the AI is so wonky half the time you really can't get it to work properly. And finally, you do have also some cooler sections of the game with heavy machine guns and flak cannons and other things that I won't spoil, because I don't really want to tell you every little thing. I'll leave you to discover some things for yourself, but gameplay variety, definitely the game's strongest aspect, hands down. As far as the music, pretty standard military fare when it comes to the soundtrack. The guns all have nice booming sounds to them. The machine guns, the missile launchers, they all have the appropriate sound effects that you would expect. But the thing that I really like about the sound is the banter between you and your comrades as you're going through and defeating enemies. They'll warn you about incoming grenades. They'll tell you you're doing a good job, or telling you to quit showing off when you're blowing enemies away. You'll hear a comment from Bagman when he takes people out with the mines that you lay, or he'll tell you that he's reloading your ammo or giving you health whenever you ask for it. Gunner will even chew you out if you try to put a silencer on him, because he likes to be loud when he shoots. So all that stuff is pretty entertaining to hear them all kind of talk, and you can tell that they tried to bring across that they were good buddies and comrades the whole time before their unfortunate end, but they still want to do everything they can to help out your main character.
Grenade incoming! Coming right up! Go rogue!
One final thing I wanted to talk to you guys about before we wrap this up is the other options in the game besides single player. It actually does have a multiplayer mode, so I'm going to go ahead and join a game here and we'll see what we've got. Alright, never mind, can't play multiplayer because there is no one online. Well, anyway, you do have other extras you can look at. They do have an encyclopedia that's pretty handy to go through if you want to catch up on some of the lore of the game, which is handy. They also do have the ability in single player that you can go and play some of the multiplayer modes like Stronghold and Progressive. Progressive is pretty much like a capture the flag mode almost, where you have to get to the objective in a certain amount of time while fighting waves of enemies as you progress through to the objective. You've got pickups you can grab along the way, like health, ammo, items, things like that. Stronghold, fairly similar type of mode. Instead, you're kind of staying in one spot and you have to defend a certain area from waves of enemies for a certain amount of time that you can actually set yourself before you start the game. Now, these modes by yourself, to be honest, not the most fun. I mean, I'd rather be playing the single player. I'm sure they're fun in multiplayer. They were fun on the PS2, and that was pretty rare back then to have a multiplayer PS2 game, and there were at least some people playing at that time, but I really couldn't find any on the PC version, I'm sure, just because of the huge wealth of shooter games that are in that market. But hopefully on the Switch version you guys will get lucky and find some more games on that. Fortunately, you are getting Doom and Wolfenstein as far as first-person shooters, but third-person shooters, you don't have a whole lot of variety, so hopefully more people will be playing this on the Switch. Alright guys, well that about does it for me. Overall, I'd say if you guys are looking for a decent third-person shooter, I mean, I had a lot of fun with this game back in 2006. In some aspects it has aged pretty well, the tight gunplay, the variety like I talked about, but in some aspects not so much. Some things were worse than I remember, like the AI and just kind of how they react in a lot of these situations, and just some of the overall lack of new things put into the game. I mean, this is essentially the same game it was in 2006. Pretty much no new aspects to it at all. So if that's cool with you guys and you enjoy a decent third-person shooter and you don't mind the somewhat aged mechanics, I would say that it would be a good game for you to check out. Like I said, especially if you're on the Switch. Or it's unfortunate to me that a lot of people probably aren't even going to touch this game, let alone have heard of what Rogue Trooper is. So it was kind of a hidden gem on the PS2, and I feel like it's going to be the same thing here. But one thing you have to remember is the game is only $25, so I mean, at that price, I think that it would be a good game for you guys to enjoy. If it was coming out at $60 or even $50, I would say, oh no way, wait for a price drop, it's not worth that. But at $25, I would say it's more than worth your time, and like I said, it's only a few hour campaign. You will get some enjoyment out of the multiplayer if you can find people to play with, so I would say definitely check it out, and I think you'll feel like you got your money's worth overall. Alright guys, that wraps it up. This is Arc Flash. I hope you enjoyed my game review. I really enjoy doing these with you guys, and I've got a special announcement coming up for my 100 subscriber thank you vid. I'm going to try to get that done in the next couple of days. I've got a very special game that I'm going to be doing an unboxing on when it releases next year, and I want to talk to you guys about that. And I've also got some other stuff coming down the pipe as far as reviews, some more compilations. I just released that Shadow of War compilation yesterday. I hope you guys enjoyed that as well. If you haven't seen it, check that out. I will put the link to all my videos at the end of this one and in the description. And I've got that commentary coming about the Switch converting me into being a Nintendo fan again. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy what's coming. I really appreciate all your support. It helps me keep motivated and helps keep me going making these videos for you. So please don't forget to subscribe if you like it, and like the video, share it, all that stuff that every YouTuber says out there. And I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you very much and take care.
Suck my balls. Eat a dick. Fuck off. Bitch. Eat lead, asshole.